moi. Ça veut dire, Juneteenth ça. White people get the day off too? Hey, garon kaka messieurs, kaka voye. Ça veut dire, gros Juneteenth ça. The white people are not at work. Why are you not at work? Go back to work. Clock in. Go back to the fields. This day is not for you. Journée ça c'est pas pour lié. If you're white, go to work. Pour qui ça you think you're not supposed to be at work on Juneteenth? C'est pas pour lié. C'est pour black Americans lié. C'est pour black people seulement. C'est pas pour nous. Go back to work. If you are white people, go back to work. Je dis ya, à travail. À chercher travail pour nous faire. This is not your day. It's not for you. It's for the black Americans. Go back to work. Fais vite.
Happy Lift Every Voice and Sing Day. Happy Juneteenth Day to all the black women, to all the black American women, to be motherfucking specific. This is y'all motherfucking day. Cheers. Cheers to Juneteenth. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. It's your sister. Again, happy Juneteenth, specifically to all the black Americans. The black Americans. The blacks of this country, but specifically the black Americans, the ones who motherfucking slaved and built this motherfucking country. Y'all deserve everything. First of all, I'm sorry. During Black Women's Juneteenth Day, why are white people not going to work? I will not let that rest. I'm sorry. I will not let that rest. Like, do y'all not have a problem with white people getting a day off today? I'm sorry. Like, it really was detestful to see white people outside having picnics. They in the park. Y'all chilling. You know what I'm saying? They eating, drinking, carrying on. What in the Marcus Garvey is this? What the fuck is going on? What's going on? What's going? Not during Lift Every Voice and Sing Day. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Y'all need to be clocked the fuck in. I'm sorry. You know, usually I don't like gatekeeping, but it's some shit that gotta be gate kept. And Juneteenth is one of them. And somebody in my comments was like, oh, so should black people get Veterans Day off? Yes, bitch. Of course it was somebody white. Should black people get July 4th off? Yes, bitch. The fuck? Yes. Yes, they should. They should. As a matter of fact, all these holidays that y'all have for like Veterans Day, Independence Day, who were the main people on the front lines? Oh, okay. Okay. Who were the main people on the front lines? Who were the main people being sacrificed for the freedom of this country? Hello. Please, let's not do that. Please, let's not do that, okay? Please, play a PlayStation. Don't play with me, all right? Play a PlayStation. Do not play with me, okay? Clock the fuck in and get the fuck out my face, period. It's Juneteenth, and I thought, you know, why don't I just hop on here and give y'all like some random Love is Blind updates, some shit that I've been seeing online that I want to talk about. First things first, y'all know what I'm about to tell y'all. Y'all know I have a song called KOUPÉ out. If you have not downloaded, played it, if you haven't seen the video is out. Description, if you look at my description box, it got the video, it got the link to play it on your iTunes and all that, your Spotify. Make sure that you support your sister and play KOUPÉ and watch the video. Thank you very much. Let's get into these Love is Blind updates, okay? Love baby blind, but bitch, I'm not. I catch on to every motherfucking thing. So let's talk about a OG, a Love is Blind OG, Miss Jessica, Jessica Batten. So do y'all remember Jessica Batten? She was from the first season of Love is Blind. Remember she had that love triangle with Amber and Barnett. She really like connected with Barnett in the pods, and you know, things didn't work out with her and Barnett. He went on to be with Amber, but unfortunately for Jessica, she just couldn't like let go of Barnett, and things got really, really weird. Mind you, she had accepted Mark's proposal after things like fell through with Barnett, and Barnett proposed to Amber. You know, she accepted Mark's proposal. And so her story with Mark was a little weird. It was strange because it was like she was with Mark, but she really wanted to be with Barnett, especially after she saw Barnett in person. And to be honest, I remember kind of feeling like, even though Jessica got on my fucking nerves, I'm 34. Remember, like every 2 minutes, it was, I'm 34, I'm 34, I'm 34. I was like, Lord, please, somebody, please marry my sis. She is 34. Please, somebody, please. I guess 34 is like the last age to get married. Somebody, please marry this bitch ASAP. But I remember, like, especially after she saw Barnett, she just could not let go of this man. But I remember feeling too, like, I felt like Barnett, if he had not proposed to Amber first, and maybe if he had seen Jessica, things could have kind of, because it was a little spark there. But you know, of course, Amber stood her motherfucking ground. She wasn't playing around with Jessica at all. Then Jessica was with Mark, and they got engaged, and they were at their wedding, and at their wedding, you know, she said she just couldn't do it. And she became like the first real villain of Love is Blind. And I remember it because it felt as though she was stringing Mark along, and Mark just was so super invested, but Jessica just was not. Like, you could tell that Jessica was doing this kind of like out of obligation maybe, but you could tell, like, when she saw Mark, she was not pleased. She was not attracted to him. She just didn't like the guy. And so anyway, she became a villain, right? But remember, the tea was that post, you know, their wedding and their engagement or whatever, that they were dating, right? Then they broke up, and he moved on to another cast member, Elsie, right? So he dates Elsie for a period of time, right? But then while he was with Elsie, he cheated on her with like a gang of bitches, got one of them hoes pregnant, and the hoe that he got pregnant was the bitch that he married, okay? So then they got married, and then come to find out, when Elsie spilled the tea on Mark being a serial cheater, Jessica also spilled the tea that while they were dating, Mark was cheating on her with a bunch of women as well. So Mark was, like, the editing, the show made him look good, but social media had all the real receipts, and we came to the conclusion that he wasn't shit. So anyway, fast forward with Jessica, you know, her being the first villain. I remember thinking, my sis ain't never gonna get married. Like, you know, reality shows can really, like, it can be very detrimental to you, especially like if you're a villain. Trust me, I know all about that. So I felt like, damn, my good sis she is not gonna get married. But behold and lo and motherfucking behold, last year she got married, and she got married to a foot doctor by the name of Ben. They look so cute. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at my good sis, Murray. Okay, white dress on like she a virgin. Okay, and mind you, he's good looking. Like, Dr. Ben look motherfucking good. Look at this. He tall. He dark. I mean, in the white community, he dark. You know what I'm saying? It's giving a little, I don't know, is it giving George Clooney a little bit, a little Matthew McConaughey maybe? Well, not Matthew McConaughey. Matthew's fine as fuck. It's giving a little, like he could be George Clooney's cousin. That's what it's giving. But anyway though, so y'all, recently Jessica gave birth, and now she has a son with her husband. Isn't this cute? I love to see happily ever afters. I'm really, really happy for Jess, because honestly, I do know that Love is Blind really, really, like, took a toll on her because of her image on the show. And here's the thing, right? When you're doing reality television shows, a lot of things don't get seen. There is so much footage that doesn't leave the cutting room floor because, like, fortunately for the audience when it comes to entertainment, but unfortunately for the participants, a lot of things don't make it because producers are trying to tell a story. And so if they're trying to tell a story and they're trying to have the utmost entertaining story, they're gonna leave things out because that won't support them telling the story that they want to tell. And so Jessica was one of the first people that we saw fall victim to that. And so I'm really happy to see that she has her happily ever after. So shout out to her. Next, let's talk about Bartise. Have y'all seen Barista's new haircut? Hold on. Is it my medication or Bartise looking kind of good during Black Women's Juneteenth month? Bartise looked kind of good here. Bartise looked kind of good. I'm so happy he finally got rid of that Bart Simpson ass haircut. He looks so much better. Now, the tea is, remember, he has a baby mama that just popped up out of nowhere. Remember, he's the first Love is Blind contestant to have a Love is Blind baby, but not really, because it's not with someone who was on the show. And same thing for Jess. Isn't it funny how all these people are having kids, but they're not having no kids with people that they actually were in the experience with? This is 4 seasons. None of those kids were produced by couples that are on the show that actually went through the experience together. That should tell you a little something. But anyway, remember during the reunion of the last Love is Blind child, Vanessa's puss ass had the nerve to bring Bartise on our fucking screen. Can somebody give us a Love is Blind baby? Can somebody give us a Love is Blind baby? You know, her obsession with people's wounds was just crazy. And she had the nerve to bring Bartise of all motherfucking people to come bother us about giving a Love is Blind baby. Sir, you didn't give us no damn Love is Blind baby, because this is your baby mama. Who the fuck is this?
Here she is. So this is Bartise baby's mom.
Who the fuck is this? And remember, the internet was in shambles when her identity was revealed. Lord have mercy. But anyway, y'all, so this is his new haircut. Now, side note, apparently Bartise has a new girlfriend. Let me see if I can get that tea. Hold on. Now, I did have to do a little digging. But as you can see, look at Sister Girl's manicure and rings. It matches her right hand. Look closely. That is the same fingernails, and them is the same rings on her fingers. What happened to the baby mama, Bartise? What the hell happened to the baby mama? We are family. What happened to building strong families, Bartise? What the fuck is this? I mean, she cute though. If I were Bartise, I would never, ever, ever reveal my girlfriend to y'all. Like, I just would not, especially given the show and then like the aftermath of the show, then him popping up with that random lady and, you know, that random baby. It just, I would never reveal that. And also, you know, I mean, if he's smart, he should never reveal his relationship to us on the internet unless he's married. But according to his words, you know, engagements are not real. This is literally what he had to say.
So do you count like a TV engagement as like an actual engagement? I know I don't.
I wonder how Nancy feels about that. This motherfucker really did say, he really said, you count TV engagements as an engagement? I don't. So this is somebody who's very unserious. I told y'all he was unserious from day one. I mean, from the time he popped up looking like Bart Simpson's black cousin, Kid from Kid and Play, we should have known he was unserious. Remember how serious he was about thinking that Raven was gonna be attracted to him after he saw Raven, and baby, it was not happening. I was so glad my good sis curved his dumb ass. But yeah, if I were him, I would never reveal anything, baby. Just don't show us nothing. Don't ever show us a damn thing. But the new haircut definitely looks nice. All right, let's talk about Raven. Let's talk about Raven, and then let's talk about this new season of Netflix's Love is Blind. They actually released a preview clip that I want to talk about. Let's talk about Raven. So I came across this podcast episode called Lovers and Friends, and Raven was on it with Shan Booty. I really, really hope I'm saying her name right. I think it's Shan Body or Shan Booty. I'm really sorry if I'm fucking up your name, Shan, but shout out to you. Your podcast is great. This episode with Raven though was alarming to me, and I'm gonna explain why. First of all, let's just do a little background, right? So Raven was with SK on Love is Blind season, 3 was it? Season 3? And it was last year that we watched her and SK get together on the same, you know, season that Bartise was on. And, you know, initially, I remember thinking, okay, I don't think Raven is for SK. You know, And I remember thinking, damn, SK was the only person on here really like seemingly really looking for love, really looking for something. Raven didn't really give me somebody who was willing to compromise on a lot of things. Like, she didn't want to move because she wanted to be close to where her job was. But then you had SK, who was still in school, and he would have to move to finish his master's degree or something like that. The stories, it was a lot between these two. And I even remember like his mom coming in from Africa, and like I was shocked seeing Raven like embrace SK's culture. Because remember, initially she just came off as somebody who was happy that SK had money, but wasn't happy about conforming to his culture. Like, she'd always had something to say, even about like the food. Like, the food wasn't to her liking, or it just seemed like she always had something to say, right? But as time progressed and as it came time to get married, you kind of saw this whole other side to her, and you saw her really embrace his culture, embrace his family. And I was like, okay, like, this is it. She even had her, the traditional headgear for the wedding. I mean, she really just went all out to embrace this man, right? They get on the altar. She says yes, and SK stands there. I still can't get over that shit. I do not. Remember the shot on them Africans' faces at that motherfucking wedding? Like, I cannot get over SK's mother in the background. Tell her yes, come on, tell her yes. I want a daughter. Make her my daughter-in-law. Tell her yes, come on. Say it, yes, yes. Like, she was from the audience. Yes, my son, yes. Bitch, when that motherfucker hit everybody in the audience and all of the Americas with, I do not, bitch, I hollered. And remember the confusion. I'm sorry, I had to bring this shit back. Y'all, please look at SK's mama, please. I said I do, say I do, say I do, say I do, say I do. I do not, bitch. Look at his family, bitch. I'm way! Bitch, the African confusion. Oh, I'm sorry. This will never not be funny to me. This will forever be hilarious in my household, okay? The confusion, the African confusion, that shit was hilarious to me. I just could not... That shit was so fucking funny to me. And I just remember his mom being so distraught because I know for all the years... Pour maman est-ce que élevé est-ce que pour maman est-ce que situé est-ce que pour est-ce que t'arrivé sous télévision nationale pour t'embarrasser maman comme ça. I know she was embarrassed during Black Women's Juneteenth month, okay? So anyway, child, fast forward, to Love After the Altar. Apparently Raven and SK actually stayed together, and then they got re-engaged according to her. Later on, like that's what I saw in interviews. I feel like they said that in Love After the Altar too, that they got re-engaged. Y'all, I'm sorry, while I was editing this, I found this little piece of tea. So Raven revealed on the Nick Viall files that SK tried to get their second engagement removed from Love After the Altar. Look at this.
He went to producers in October when we were here filming Reunion. We were filming Reunion, and he went off the grid, remember? No one could find him, couldn't get a hold of him. Everyone was freaking out. Come to find out, he locked himself in a van with one of the producers and was like, you got to take the engagement out. You got to take the engagement out. Literally hours later, comes back home, like to our hotel, is being so weird. We get in the biggest fight. He tells me like he was sad about his mom or something. Yeah.
Oh, this man was moving mad. This man was moving mad. Y'all gonna learn about these Nigerian niggas. You know what? Let me know if y'all want me to make y'all a list of the most diabolical niggas. And I will. But y'all gotta pray for a hedge of protection over my life, because once I do that, I will not be safe, okay? But yeah, he tried to get their engagement removed, but was on the show basically acting like it was all good between the two. And everything was going great. Bitch, then 1 week, like literally like 1 week later, The fucking internet was in shambles because we found out that SK was chasing white women with African bop booties. We couldn't believe that shit. We couldn't believe that during Black Women's Juneteenth month, that SK was chasing water. He was chasing Caucasian waterfalls, okay? Caucasian waterfalls with black booties attached. We couldn't believe that shit. Remember that shit? It was a scandal, bitch. So then fast forward, you had Raven, who's done like a couple interviews, right? And I remember seeing her do a podcast interview with Nick Vale, I believe. And here's a clip from that podcast.
This is a part that I'm still processing, and it's probably the ego inside of me. But there was always this trend of him being really hard on the way that I looked. Oh, you shouldn't wear that. Oh, I don't like when you do your face like that. And I was so sad. And I even started to say to him, like, I feel like something's up. You don't really like me. You don't like the way that I look. In the end, he basically admitted it. Said, like, yeah, you're not my type. I'm not attracted to you. And I was like, well, good to know. And then when all of these girls came out and more of the critics were like, Raven, he doesn't even like girls that look like you. He never liked you to begin with. And I'm like, little do y'all know that I knew that something was off.
The fact that SK was telling this girl that he didn't like the way she looked, like telling her, making her feel basically unattractive to me, was crazy. It was crazy. Because if y'all go back in my reviews, y'all used to be in the comments telling me how ugly SK was. And when I tell you I was fighting y'all hoes like Mufasa was before Scar fucking threw him off that motherfucking cliff, bitch, I was in the stampedes just fighting for my life. I was like, nah, bitch, SK is good looking, fighting for this motherfucker. And this motherfucker was telling her that she was ugly, basically telling her that she was not attracted. He was not attracted to her. He didn't like her mannerisms. He didn't like the way she dressed. He didn't like the way she looked. And like she said, when you did look at all the girls that were coming forward about SK, they were white. And you know what's crazy? I would think, because of colorism, right? Remember, whenever I see these black men on these shows, I always feel most of the time that it is their opportunity to date white women in a way that they wouldn't be able to in the regular world, right? But with SK, I remember thinking, just a little differently, because SK was so Nigerian. Like, y'all, if you've been around Nigerian men, not saying that Nigerian men are not attracted to white women. Black men are attracted to all types of women, okay? Black men are very open-minded. They so open-minded, they went to the courthouse and fought to be able to interracially marry white women, okay? That's why we have that whole law in place. It was black men fighting for their right. They was fighting for their right to get them some pink toes. We know how y'all feel about y'all white women. But I ain't lying. Shit. I'm not lying. But I remember thinking, damn, he's so Nigerian. Like, he wanted certain foods. He wanted certain things. So I was thinking he would have wanted maybe somebody blacker, right? Like, Raven is multicultural. I don't exactly know which one of her parents is mixed, but she's mixed. It's one of her parents is mixed and one of them is white, I believe. Or like a white Hispanic or a white whatever, like, but she's mostly white. I remember thinking, okay, well, once he saw her and everything, like, he was excited, you know, like, she's obviously like gonna be to his liking because she's like white adjacent. So to see the way she said that he would talk to her, and then seeing the correlation between her realizing that he didn't like the way she looked, the correlation between that and the way the girls that he cheated on her looked, it's insane. It's insane. This girl obviously like Raven is obviously somewhat ethnic, right? But it's like, no, he wanted pure white, but with an African booty. Please, like, explain that to me. Like, explain that to me. Somebody has to explain that to me. So anyway, fast forward, she did the Lovers and Friends podcast, right? So she does this podcast. And remember, not too long ago, I think earlier this year, she debuted a new boyfriend. And I remember thinking, wow, I didn't comment on it, but I remember thinking, wow, that's kind of quick, especially because the scandal with SK just happened a couple months ago, like probably like 6 months ago. You know what I mean? So I felt like that was kind of quick, even though the actual show was filmed like over a year ago, but the scandal was just hitting the fan and y'all were still together. So I felt like that was kind of quick. So when she gives the background of how she got with this man, Raven, girl, you in danger, girl. You in danger, girl. You in danger. You are in danger. Like, make a long story short, you know what? Let her tell y'all the story.
He had, like, people have been asking, like, how did y'all meet? How did y'all meet? You know, which I think is, like, there's so many ways to meet someone nowadays. Like, you could go on Love is Blind.
She's on the podcast,
honestly,
and she's giving the story about how her and her boyfriend met. Listen to this.
In the pods, and I've really carried that with me. That, like, vulnerability and raw honesty and, like, over communicating because you're not sitting in front of someone, you know, and just trying to be really clear. I've really taken some things away. So yeah, if you
that's cool.
Help, like, actually,
that's cool. I'm pro vulnerability, but to a certain extent.
Like, if you already have
naturally though, I am an oversharer, so
it's really bad for your mental health.
Vulnerability is kind of like my thing, but I am very guarded with who I share certain things with. So anyway, she says this man DM'd her.
Like FaceTiming.
What was his DM?
Before he DM'd me, like maybe like 3 or 4 days before, I had actually posted a story. It was like a repost from my best friend's story. Like, I don't want you to like me. I want you to be obsessed with me. It was something like that, you know? And that, like, really resonated with me. And so, like, reposted it just to be funny. So then, a few days later, I get this DM from this random guy. And he says, "Hi, Raven." I think he, like, put period. He's like, "I'm obsessed with you. Thoughts on a date?" And I was like, how did he know? I just used that word. That's so crazy.
Because he's obsessed with you. That's how
he's obsessed with me.
Bro. Rocks for brains. I'm sorry. Like, rocks for brains. How did he know? Because you put it in your Insta story, sis. You put in your Insta story that you wanted someone to be obsessed with you. He saw that, so he DM'd you what you said you wanted. And see, this is why I remember recently I did a Dear Wifey podcast, and I did the live episode and with Latarius, the same podcast that had Derek Jackson's what's her name? Danae Jackson on there. And we did a live episode here in Atlanta at New Birth, and I remember like Latarius was asking everybody like what they want in a man. And there was one young lady who, I can't remember her name, but she's a pastor at New Birth. She gave a long list of what she wanted in a man. I mean, it was a long list, right? And you could see me cheering her on. I'm screaming. I'm like, yes, right? But when it was my turn, I kept it really simple. And I was like, I want someone who is kind. For various reasons. Number one, you'd be surprised how mean these niggas be. Like, it's just like, I've encountered a lot of meanness, and unfortunately, you don't usually see how unkind a person is until a little bit down the line. When you first meet a person, you're meeting their representative. They're not being their real selves with you, okay? So it kind of takes a minute for you to really see a person's real self, right? But number two, I remember just a voice telling me, girl, don't be sitting here giving these people no list. And I'm not against anybody coming out here giving a list, but that's just something, if I've done it before online, you'll never see it again. Like, I'm never gonna go online and say, oh, here's what I'm looking for in a man. I'm not doing that. Because I've literally encountered this where someone will study you, especially if you have a platform. It's not that hard for a person to study you and to figure out what you want. and for them to morph into what they believe you want. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's not that hard for a man to morph into what he knows that you want, and then for him to swindle you. And he could swindle you out of anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just money. Sometimes these niggas will swindle you out some pussy. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, you fucking a nigga you would have never fucked before because he done morphed into this person that he knew that he knows you're looking for. And he did it on purpose. Let's continue.
And now that I say it out loud, like, I've told a few people and they're like, that is so weird. Like, and I'm like, it really isn't. Like, that is like, I needed that. Like, I was so ready to be like obsessed with someone too. Like, I'm not just asking for that one-sidedly. So I responded, I was like, I said, haha, like, I'm intrigued. Whatever. We end up FaceTiming, I think, for like the next like 2 weeks. And finally I was like, oh, well, I have to go to New York for work. And he's like, okay, well, I'll come up there and meet you. And so I'm like, okay, cool. And then I start thinking about it. And I'm like, okay, like, at this point, 2 of my best girlfriends that I grew up with, like, since I was, like, 12 years old, they were coming to New York, too. So, like, I knew I had to carve out time for them. One of my castmates was coming with me as well. My manager's there. So it was like a big group of us, and I was like, dang, like, maybe I shouldn't have said that, you know? So whatever, we figure out a time, and this art is so embarrassing.
Girl, come on.
So I, like, taught this Pilates class, like I was saying before, and it was so good, but it's, like, really, like, an emotional, energetic, like, exchange I'm having with people. So, like, afterwards, I'm a little bit, you know, like, and I literally could not even make eye contact with him.
Okay, I'm sorry,
Like,
y'all. I'm
I
just
was
trying to
so
fast forward this because
and weird. And
she's
he
saying a
literally
lot.
was like, is something like what to wear? Like what? It was bad. It was all bad vibes.
So I guess she spent.
I ended up wearing like the most
She
raggedy
spends
outfit,
time
like,
with her
ever.
friends, and she teaches her
I just-
class. Finally, she makes time to meet with him,
And I get down
and she
there,
dresses
he's like
bummy.
waiting for me outside the door, and I literally could not even make eye contact with him. Like, I was so nervous and weird. And he literally was like, is something wrong with you? And I was like, I literally couldn't even make eye contact. I was like talking over here. I was like, I'm fine. Like, I was so strange. And so we like get in an Uber, like we're so quiet. And he's like very outgoing. Like, he's like energetic, trying to get to know me. And I'm like, in my head, like, okay, like, I just have to get through this brunch. Like, I'm so weird right now. I don't know what it is. And then we sat down, we like went to some brunch place and we started talking and like still like sitting across from me, like I could not make eye contact. But then like we started talking about really good stuff and I think we started talking about like family and I like warmed up a little bit. And then we went to Noma, I think, and walked around and like that was really good. And so I was like, you know, I have all these people in town and I have to like make time for them. Do you want to join us for dinner? And he's like, oh, okay. So he like,
He's
Okay.
okay. By himself.
He needs
Now-
to, right? He showed up to a New
I'm not
Year's
against
and here I am
someone
continuing.
meeting up with
It was,
you,
like, the middle
like
of
y'all been
January.
talking
And
2
so, like,
months.
New Year's
I'm not
resolution,
against them
whatever.
coming
So
out
it was, like,
and meeting you in
show
another
up around the
state.
table and
Are
talk
y'all
about, like,
against that? I'm not
you know,
against
like,
that.
what are your
So I guess
goals?
now
What
he's
is
out
it
with her and her
differently?
friends.
It was like this whole thing, and everyone like went around and said all of this beautiful stuff, and I felt like he was really trying to get to know me and the people around me in a deeper way. And so at this point, the night is like still young, right? So we're like, let's go out, this group of 10 people. I didn't feel weird about it. Like, I was very like present with him and didn't feel like corny about holding hands. Like, I actually wanted to. So I kept like noting all of these.
First
little
time they're
things
meeting,
that
they're
were
holding
so
hands.
opposite from what I'm used to.
Okay.
And we go out.
Interesting.
End up, like hanging out till way too late, past my bedtime, and then we go back to the apartment that I'm staying in. We're just like sitting on the couch, and he was like, "I think I'm really falling for you," and I was like, "I think I'm in love with you." Yeah, it was the first date.
All
Sorry the interruption. Popping in to give you
So let's talk about that. Raven, you literally just went through this whole Love is Blind experience, right? And what happened with SK happened for the world to see, right? Love is Blind is literally you jumping in head first with somebody that you don't know. You're getting to know them, you know, like you're talking to them for like a week, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's less time, like a week or, I mean, I think that was what, a week or 2 weeks, whatever. But you literally just had this similar experience, and look what happened with SK. Now you do this with this man who nobody vetted. At least like with Love is Blind, there's somewhat of a vetting process, right? For these people to end up on this show. You don't know this man. You know nothing about this man. You meet in a city, right? In New York. I'm cool with that. I've met people that I've talked to over the phone and everything. Like I've met them in other states. That's fine. I don't see anything wrong with that. But I do feel like you have to have some type of guard about yourself. Like holding hands, spending the first night together. I mean, that can be very dangerous. It can be like you're a public figure. You're literally a public figure. That can be very dangerous on so many levels. I watch too much 48 Hours for this type of bullshit right here, okay? But then for y'all to be telling each other y'all love each other the first time. First of all, he told you he's falling for you, then you tell him you love him. Mind you, just a couple hours earlier, you didn't even feel like meeting up with him so much that you showed up bummy. What the fuck happened in the span of 6 hours to make you say, I'm in love with you? I think that the Love is Blind experience has really distorted your view on dating. Like when you do reality shows, it can really distort your reality, which is crazy because you're living in this world, right? It's your reality while you're living in it, but then when you're done, you're coming into the real world, right? So the things that you did there, you can't do that in the real world. You just like it's not always you can't.
He's gonna kill me.
Girl, I mean, if he gonna kill you, I mean, he would have been killed you for all the shit you sharing.
Full on cry. I feel like I'm kind of playing. I have the vision and I see it and I know exactly where I want to go and I know that this is the person that I'm gonna do that with. But it's like I'm like trying to start the bike, you know, like when you still have your foot and you're like trying to put it on the pedal and it's just like the bike's going like this, but it's still moving. And so just kind of like frustrated with myself because when I do have those instances of not feeling confident and lacking maturity, it hurts him. So I was just like emotional about that. And then I don't know what possessed us to like have sex shortly after that.
What's that you had sex shortly after, like an argument or?
Yeah, I think it was kind of an argument. I can't even remember what it was over, but basically about how I need to grow in my maturity and in my confidence. And it's something like we talk about and how we're both growing and where we need to pour more energy into different parts of ourselves and us together. Yeah, then I started crying. I feel like for the first time, I'm really connecting with someone a lot deeper than I ever have before. And I think that has developed physically too. It's something like I'm really enjoying. I feel like I'm kind of, again, like a little bit naive. I definitely was like a little bit sexually naive. I don't even know why, like just literally for no reason. But with my partner, I feel like a lot more closeness, just very close.
So you feel close to someone who's telling you that you need to be mature.
And it just hit me like this man shows up for me constantly, no matter what. And I hurt his feelings all the time. And now I'm going to get emotional. And like still in this like really intimate moment, he's like so present and wants to be close to me. And I keep hurting him a little bit. And it just like made me so upset because I'm really trying to work on all those things.
Okay, I mean, I've cried during sex before because the sex was so damn good I couldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? The man was hitting all types of corners I couldn't believe. I remember honestly, this only happened to me once, and it was my ex, my Dominican ex. Like, I could not believe this man was hitting spots that the man I lost my virginity to, who was Haitian, the Dominican, was hitting all types of spots that the Haitian didn't reach. And I just cried in amazement. I cried to my ancestors because I felt like I betrayed them. But also I cried because it felt so damn good. I'm thinking that's what you crying for. Like, that's what I would be crying for. Now I'm crying because I cried because I betrayed you. Girl, what? What are we talking about? I don't know. It's kind of given that Raven likes to be with men who are going to build her up just to tear her down. Or let me not say like, maybe that's what you attract. It seems that you attract men who really get a kick out of tearing you down. And when they're tearing you down, it makes you more accessible to them. It makes you more it's easier for them to manipulate you and to get you where they want you. That's what it's given to me. You need to be careful, sis. I don't like this. I don't like this for you. All right, y'all, let's get into this new Netflix Love is Blind season. All right, let's watch this preview together, y'all.
How are you?
Good.
I love your voice already. So, what are you looking for in a partner?
Intelligence, dependability. I'll just be honest with you. I have a track record of crappy relationships, and I just haven't found the right person.
Doesn't freak me out. Doesn't scare me at all.
Have you been in long-term relationships?
I was actually engaged.
I haven't told anyone else here this, but I've actually been married once before.
If me and you can potentially get married, you're not going to hold anything back from me, and I'm not going to hold anything back from you.
I love you. My mom says, like, maybe you're not meant to be in a relationship. Yeah. I'm definitely not a perfect person, but I know I deserve love.
Okay. I have a lot of thoughts. Number one, when they're in the hallways, I was looking for black legs. I don't see enough black legs. I'm not seeing enough black women's legs. Okay? I'm not seeing kinky hair. I'm not seeing Brazilian wavy number 2. I'm not seeing that. I don't know. Let me not get ahead of myself. But I'm not seeing enough blacks. I'm not seeing enough blacks. Okay? Black woman. I'm not seeing enough black women's. I'm not seeing enough black women's, okay? But it was just a short preview, so let me not get ahead of myself. This looks cute. She comes across as a fave. It looks like they're setting her up to be a fave. He looks damn good. It's giving like The Rock a little bit. Not as fine as The Rock, but like his build is giving like The Rock. You know what I hope we see in the next season of Netflix, Love is Blind? Obviously, I want to see more black people. I feel like last season was good. It was more black people than usual, but I definitely want to see even more. But also, I want to see older people. Is it me, or like I don't want to see the 20-somethings. I want to see 30s and 40s. That's what I want to see. Like, I just feel like why are we putting 20-somethings on a show like Love is Blind? I'm sorry. No. Dating is what you make it. If you're out dating, being outside, you know, going on this date, that date, whatever, it's cool. But I feel like when you're trying to get married, when you're looking for specifically a husband, it starts to get really tricky in your 30s, and then Lord, your 40s. Like, I want to see that. I feel like those are the stories that I really, really want to see. And also, what else do I want to see? I want to see people with real jobs. More people with real jobs. Last season was better. I think last season was the best season as far as like jobs went, but I want better occupations. But the thing is, I feel like people who have certain occupations will never do a dating show. Like, I just feel like that. So that's why sometimes you get these random ass jobs, because these people really want to be on television, to be honest. So it is what it is. But anyway, y'all, those are just my thoughts on some past guests, some past contestants of Love is Blind. and my thoughts on the next Love is Blind season that's coming out. Let me know what you guys thought about the preview. Let me know what you guys thought about Raven, Barista, Jessica having her baby, going half on her baby with a foot doctor. And listen, enjoy the rest of your Juneteenth, Black people, specifically Black African Americans. This is your day. Happy Juneteenth to all of y'all. And I'll see you guys in the next video.